How do elections work in India? How do they get hacked? Well, all of the questions are going to be answered in the video. So sit back and relax. Now you all must know that India's democracy is the largest democracy in the world. And also, India has a parliamentary system as defined by its constitution, with power distributed between the central government and the states. Here you can see on the screen a really complex figure. We are going to break it down. Okay, beginning with the President of India. Well, the President of the India is the ceremonial head of the country and the supreme commander in chief for all the defense forces in India. However, it is the Prime Minister who is the leader of the executive branch of the government of India. Yeah, he is the leader of the executive branch. And the Prime Minister is the chief advisor to the President of the India. And also he is the head of the Union Council of Ministers. So basically these were the roles and responsibilities of President and the Prime Minister according to the textbook. However, they do have much more. But currently we are going to cover them according to the textbook. And also India is regionally divided into states and union territories. Each state has a governor who is the state's head, but the executive authority rests with the chief minister. Here also the condition is literally same as the president and the prime minister. As the president is the ceremonial head, basically what is ceremonial? Like a decorative piece or something. They do have powers, yes, but the real power lies within the hand of prime minister. Likewise in the states also. Okay, now union territories, those are a separate thing. So union territories are governed by a person appointed by the president, although some union territories also elect an assembly. You can see on the screen the name of those union territories: Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Puducherry. All these have assemblies also, and also the governors. Well, the president maintains rule of law and peace in each state through their appointed governors. Okay, but in the case of chaos, the president dissolves the existing state if necessary, and a new election is conducted. Well, for now, you should know that Telangana and Chhattisgarh are the only states where this has never happened. Otherwise, there not has been any state left where the president's rule has not been applied even once. Okay, now we are going to study about types of elections. What are types of elections? Basically, elections in the Republic of India include elections for President of India, Vice President of India, Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, also known as the Upper House and the Lower House, members of State Legislative Council, members of State Legislative Assembly, members of local governance bodies, that is municipal bodies and panchayat. Also the by-elections. These are the 7 types of elections. What are by-elections, by the way? By-elections is held when a seat holder of a particular constituent dies, resigns, or is disqualified. Those are known as by-elections. Well, all these 7 type of elections are important, but we will cover them in a depth in a separate video. For now, as elections are coming, I'll tell you about Lok Sabha election process also. Yeah, so among those seven, I'll be covering this one. So basically, member of Lok Sabha, which is also known as the House of the People, are elected by being voted upon by all the adult citizens of India who crossed 18 years of age. Okay, and now you should know that elections take place every 5 years. Currently, there are 543 seats in the Lok Sabha. This was a basic introduction about Lok Sabha and how the elections are conducted, what are the procedures. We are going to be covering them. For now, you should know that there are several electoral procedures used for casting the votes. All of these are governed by the Election Commission of India. Now, before we go in depth of these procedures, you should know the role of Election Commission of India. What is Election Commission of India? Well, the Election Commission of India is a constitutional body established by the Constitution of India. Yes, it is directly under the Constitution of India and not under the part of government or any, you could say, other government bodies. No, it is a separate institution or constitutional body. Okay, so the Election Commission of India is a constitutional body established by the Constitution of India. Its main job is to conduct and regulate elections in the country. All the 7 types of elections which you just read on the screen are conducted by this particular body. Okay, the Election Commission of India operates under the authority of Constitution per Article 324. Yes, you can read it. The words I just spoke are written on these only. All the elections types are written on this basically. Okay. Now the Election Commission of India is a multi-member body. What do you mean by multi-member body? Okay, I should tell you. The 3-member commission is in operation currently. What is 3 member? So before that, you should know about the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. Now you would be confused by reading Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. So basically, the person in the middle, Rajiv Kumar, he is the Chief Election Commissioner currently, and rest 2 are Election Commissioners. So what are the process for deciding what is going to happen? So the Election Commission is a 3-member body, and the decisions by the commission are made by a majority vote. These 3 people you can see will be voting on a particular decision. Okay, earlier it was not the case. The Election Commission, let's hear it from the beginning. Okay, the Election Commission of India was established in 1950 and originally had only one Chief Election Commissioner until 1990. Then the Election Commissioner Amendment Act came. Well, the Election Commissioner Amendment Act 1989 was adopted on 1st January 1990, which turned the commission into a multi-member body. Multi-member means 3-member currently. Okay, and all the decisions are taken by voting. Example of democracy here also. By the way, this was a little introduction about the Election Commission of India. However, this topic is, big, and it requires its own video. Otherwise, this will become very long. Okay, now back to the electoral procedures. First of all, a formation of ruling party is done. Of course, that is going to be the first procedure. Then the filling of nomination by a particular candidate for contesting in the elections. Now, candidates are required to fill their nomination papers with the Election Commission. Then a list of candidates is published, and the analysis of nomination is done before that also. Okay, all the background check of the candidate. Then there are certain set of rules to be followed. Okay, before campaigning for elections, you or the candidate should know these rules. Okay, no party is allowed to use government resources for campaigning. The government cannot start a project during the election period. Yes, they cannot start a project just before the election and use it in their campaign. No, this cannot happen. Campaignings end by 6 p.m. 2 days before polling day or voting day. Then comes the voting day. Okay, now the polling is held between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on the voting day. The collector of each district is in charge of polling. Okay, the collector of each district, the district collector or DC, he is in charge of all the voting process. Government employees are employed as poll officers at the polling stations. Okay, and now for voting, there has always been the conventional method where a person needs to go to the nearby polling booth in their constituency for voting purpose. But now new features are also new, you could say feature or facility for whom? For the senior citizens and the person with disabilities. Yes, the new facility has been launched by the government, which is also known as the vote from home. Now, what is vote from home? The Election Commission of India has granted permission for individuals above 85 or people with physical disabilities or challenges to cast their votes from their homes using ballot papers. Okay, and they must register at least 10 days prior with designated booth level officer. So basically the government of India has decided to avail for this particular facility for the people above age 85 age or people with physical disabilities. Now they can also vote. They need not to visit their, you could say, nearby polling booth, as they are unable to, but every vote is mandatory and every vote is important, especially for democracy. So that's why this facility has begun, and it is working very well. For instance, before that, these are the complete steps to avail for the vote for home facility. So you could pause the video and take a read after it. Okay. So for instance, I was telling you about during 2023, the Madhya Pradesh Legislative Assembly elections. Election officials reached out to the super senior citizens and voter with disability to provide assistance in submitting their votes through postal ballots. Yes, this is already in working, and it has been a successful campaign during 2023 Madhya Pradesh Legislative Assembly elections. So yes, we could say this is very good facility. Okay, now comes our conventional method, which is electronic voting. How is electronic voting done? Using these EVMs and VVPATs. EVMs are electronic voting machine and VVPATs are voter verified paper audit trail. So I'll be explaining what is this. Okay. Now you all must be aware about EVMs. They are used since a very long time, for a very long time now. So basically these both are used for voting and verification. Now the doubt comes, how do election gets hacked, or do they actually get hacked? Okay, so this is very important topic as this is about democracy. Okay, so you need to know about it. Basically, I'll be explaining you in short what is happening or what happens and how does Election Commission of India takes guarantee of the election being, you could say, held without fraud or without cheating. Okay, now these are the voter verifiable paper audit trails. They were first introduced in 4th September 2013 in the by-election. Okay. Now after then those became very popular as they, you could say, resulted in a fair and fraud-free election. They basically generate a slip out of it. So the slip generated by the VVPAT tells a voter to which party or candidate their vote has been given. Basically, this is a verification. And their name, their constituency, and their polling booth is written on the screen. The slip is showed on the screen for about 7 to 8 seconds and could also be handed over to the person in the physical form also afterwards. But why this became popular? Because opposition parties before 2019 elections demanded VVPAT to be made compulsory all over India due to allegations against the government of hacking the EVM. Now the Supreme Court of India ordered the Election Commission of India to increase the VVPAT slip, and they basically, what they did, they ordered the Election Commission of India to increase the slip vote count to 5 randomly selected EVMs per assembly constituency. Basically, they asked ECI to randomly choose 5 EVMs in a particular constituency and match their votes with the VVPAT so that verification could be done. And the EVM selected were very random. Huh? So this was not staged, or this was not, you could say, pre-decided. No, it was not. So after the 2019 general elections, ECI declared, Election Commission of India declared that no mismatches between EVM and VVPAT. So elections were conducted fair. So there comes, or there goes your doubt. Do elections get hacked? No, they do not. This is not easy process. The election commissioners are not, you could say, without they are not illiterate people. They are retired or they are working IAS officers, and this is not a easy process to become IAS officer. Huh? You are all studying for that, so you know how much it takes to become one. Okay, so yeah, a last feature which was very important, because nota, what is nota? None of the above was introduced on 27 September 2013. And if majority of votes are nota, none of the above, the region comes under presidential jurisdiction and is treated with the laws similar to the national territory. Okay, basically union territory. So nota is very important, as if you are not liking any party or any candidate which is standing, so you could obviously vote for nota. So yeah, these are, well, I would say there are some struggles with nota. Afterwards, if presidential rule applies and the territory becomes a union territory or national territory, it either could end up like Delhi or Puducherry with having a state assembly of their own or their jurisdiction, or it could end up like Ladakh. And you all should know what is happening in Ladakh. I have also made a separate video on the topic, so please go and watch that for a particular understanding that what is happening in Ladakh right now. So basically this was it about elections in India. How are they done? How are they performed? And how are they conducted by the Election Commission of India and its rules? So thank you. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Stay tuned and stay healthy.